Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the 12th episode.
Lucky number 12.
Lucky number 12. You got to keep doing that now. Every single time you're committing to it.
I've committed for a long time now.
How many? Do
5
math.
episodes?
7 to 12.
5 episodes.
Good man. Okay, do quick math. Today, we got a really awesome show lined up for you. It may be a little longer than expected, so buckle up, sit back, get you some popcorn. Don't get the lotion and tissues out yet. Just hold that.
You mean to tell me that this one's going to be long? Can I get the tissues out? I don't need the lotion. Can I get the tissues out?
No. But today we got a really special episode for everybody. We actually have our first well, Scott was the first guest, but now he's a permanent part of the channel. We have our first guest for the newer, updated channel. Scott, why don't you introduce him?
All right. This is my buddy Cody. I met him about 35 minutes ago and I was like, you know what, dude? We need a guest. Do you want to record? And he's like, sure. But that being said, I've actually known him for about 2 years, and his name's Cody.
Hey guys, I've known Scott. We worked together. We hit it off pretty good. And here I am.
Yeah, I asked him, and he was like, yeah, I'd like to talk to some people. And I was like, good, I talk to people pretty often.
Yeah, I like to talk to Scott. You can get a word in edgewise here and there.
Yeah, occasionally. That's one thing I've noticed. Every time I go back to edit, I don't notice it while we're recording, but occasionally there'll be parts where I can talk for maybe 30 seconds to a minute by myself. But a lot of the occasions I have to just cut some of my stuff out because I'm constantly being like interrupted, and I'm like, I'll just let you talk. Go for it.
Sorry, I like to talk. I mean, it's just the way I am.
But yeah, we're glad to have Cody with us. And
yeah.
Scott, as always. But I remember you telling me about Cody, whenever we first talked about it. And I remember the first story you told me, you both were at, Aussie's Steakhouse. And he had the ring.
Wait.
It wasn't his ring, but I was
you said you wouldn't tell anybody about that.
It was an accident, and that being said, it wasn't his ring, but I thought it was, and I already said yes, and we found out it was actually somebody's from another table.
Yeah, it was in the mashed potatoes, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I don't know why why they picked mashed potatoes.
Gravy volcano. Seems easy to swallow.
That actually happened to me twice.
You cheat on me?
It was an accident.
Accident?
It didn't mean anything, Scott.
Alcohol does crazy things. So today we're talking about Marvel, like the Marvel movies, Marvel brand itself, as a business.
Yeah, as a
and
company.
Where it is going.
Yeah, and we actually this was Cody's idea to talk about. That's why we decided to bring him on. So hope you like him.
So yeah. So how are we starting this? What are we talking about? We're going to talk about.
We're going to talk about the Iron Man movies and how it kind of started the whole cinematic universe.
That'd be a good place to start.
I feel like, because you got Iron Man 1 and then Iron Man 2, and then they decided, this is doing really good. Let's start making a franchise.
I think they actually started with that big picture during Iron Man 1. After it done so well, they just started, rolling with it.
When did the Incredible Hulk, with, what's his name?
Edward Norton, yeah. Don't even talk about that movie.
But I'm saying, when did that come in? Because that was supposed to be part of the cinematic universe.
It is part of the cinematic universe. It is part of Phase 1, technically.
Yeah, and then Mark Ruffalo took it over for the Avengers. But
Mark Ruffalo took it over.
Thank God.
It's really hard to do a single character movie with the Hulk. Because pretty much you got a character that doesn't want to become the thing that the audience is there to see.
Yeah. And
every movie is the same with the Hulk because of that.
I reckon they could have started out with, Planet Hulk, though.
Actually, this is a little later topic because, actually that's going to be a mashup with Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys have seen, I'm sure you have, the animated version of World War Hulk.
Yeah.
You got Meek, a lot of the characters from that show going to be in the movie, actually.
Oh, really?
So it's not just that Hulk's there during Thor Ragnarok. It's like the whole story of the Hulk mixed with the whole
Planet
story.
Hulk.
Yeah.
Okay.
So pretty much.
So you're looking for a long movie is what you're saying.
Well, I mean, it's just...
We're talking Lord of the Rings theatrical edition, Lord of the Rings extended edition, because I need to know if I need to use the bathroom before or after.
I think it's going to be more like what you saw in
Harry Potter?
Batman v Superman. You're going to have a lot of stuff kind
And
of
it's gonna be
action in there,
awful.
yeah.
Well, actually, Marvel probably pull it off, but DC's don't even want to talk about that.
I want to touch on this before we go any further because me and Scott's talked about it already, and I want your opinion. What did you think of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies?
I liked them.
Get out of here.
Just
go ahead and leave.
Because that was the first real grasp on a Spider-Man movie that we had. At the time, that was top of the line.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure that's like...
I liked the first one. Okay, I liked the first one. The other two I didn't like.
I like the second one, Doc Ock.
I like who they got to play Doc Ock. But that being said, the third one was garbage, and I think everybody can just agree to that.
Yeah.
I think that the Spider-Mans with Tobey Maguire, those three, they were well done, but the character design was poor. I will say that. I think that Spider-Man himself was done well, but with the new Andrew Garfield, I think he was the best Spider-Man so far, just because he.
Neither one of us has seen Homecoming.
We haven't seen Homecoming yet, so we can't really base it.
I heard he's really good though.
But talking about Andrew Garfield compared to Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, I know that the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man is supposed to be after, because it does tie into the comics a little bit, because with Tobey Maguire coming before Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, that's reversed compared to the comics.
I mean, for the most part, even though it did start off in the first movie, he was in high school. I mean, that is how it started.
With Tobey Maguire, he was in college.
No, like the first movie, he was in high school.
Yeah.
Was it? Oh, was it? Oh, okay. I can't remember that well. But, which is kind of weird, because in the new Andrew Garfield, with the first three that happened with Andrew, not the first three, the Andrew Garfield one, he was actually in high school, but it seemed as if he was a junior in high school. And then the second one came out and he was a senior, which is weird.
That's pretty much for the...
Which is weird, because his senior year of high school is whenever Gwen dies. And then all of a sudden you go back to you try to tether in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, and all of a sudden he's a senior in high school still, and all of a sudden Mary Jane is a thing. So if you reverse these, and the storyline is kind of overlapping a little bit, which that's just nitpicking. You shouldn't look that far into it, but
I hated that they introduced Mary Jane in the Tobey Maguire movies before Gwen Stacy anyway. Like, that was just something I thought was dumb.
Yeah, and two, the new actor for Spider-Man, Tom Holland, he is actually a young kid.
And that's how Spider-Man was supposed to start.
And that is how Spider-Man was supposed to start. And I like the fact, I know you guys haven't seen Homecoming, but...
is there going to be any spoilers?
No spoilers.
Okay.
I like the fact that it's not an origin story. That's the best part about that movie. It kind of just picks up running, because all the other ones is just like, they started and they spent all this time explaining how he became Spider-Man. But... everybody knows that. Everybody,
it's like
that's
Batman.
what they're saw. Yeah, they know.
Everybody knows what happened to Batman.
And it's a simpler story than Batman. I mean, when you get down to it, got bit by a radioactive spider.
And shit happened.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much.
So
shit happens on them big
died,
jobs.
The fact
yeah,
that they picked up running on that one, and I really like that.
Before we go any further, I want to say to the people watching, if you're still watching after 9 minutes, the audio might be a little weird this episode, because Cody and Scott are sharing a mic. So the next episode, I'm just now noticing this. This is the first episode I've wore my headphones through the whole thing. We may just set up another mic next time for the next episode that he's in. We don't know which one it'll be yet. But, we'll just set up another mic. So next time we have a guest, it'll be a little better audio quality. But we're already too far into it to fix anything, so fuck it.
All right, so... we were talking about Spider-Man, but back to the the whole start of the Marvel Cinematic Universe with Iron Man and Incredible Hulk, whether you want to classify it in it or not.
It is technically in Phase 1 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
So, and then it went to Iron Man 2 and then Captain America. Is that how it went? Was that the order?
Iron Man 2 and then Captain America.
And then Iron Man 3 and then the Winter Soldier.
Right.
So it's basically just Cap and Iron Man there for a little while.
Yeah, they were doing all the heavy lifting. Iron Man, you would not have a cinematic universe without Iron Man. I feel like that if you tried to pick up with any other character, it wouldn't have worked out.
I
Just
don't
because
necessarily think it was Iron Man as a character. I think
RDJ.
it was RDJ, Robert Downey Jr. You could not start at all. RDJ is the whole reason that Marvel kicked it off as hard as they did.
He didn't play Iron Man. He played Robert Downey Jr.
And Iron Man is now in the comics and everything basically modeled after RDJ.
I think who's the actor that plays his assistant?
Gwyneth Paltrow.
No, not her. The guy. The driver. His driver.
I can't think of his name, but his name is
Oh, the dude that hangs out with the dude from Shield. It's on Agents of Shield now. Like he's like in some of the movies they kind of talk a little bit.
He had that movie to come out called The Chef.
Or he was in the trailer for Tom Holland.
But he was
the basketball trailer Tom Holland wanted to go watch.
He is actually in Homecoming too. So.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
He I know he acted in that movie as well, but he was a big coordinator for all those movies.
Yeah, he's real behind the scenes and that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, he's
he's a good actor anyway. Like
he's a good actor. But I think that he himself, he's always been a part of the Marvel stuff. And starting with Iron Man, there's a lot of things that you see that you had no idea. You think about somebody being an actor in it. You never see Michael Bay in a movie. You just see his special effects, and you see his movie, but you don't
his
see
explosions.
him. And you don't really think about Michael Bay until you start, appreciating film. But then you see
explosions.
We need to figure out this guy's name. I'll figure it out and put his name up right here, and then we can have somebody look it up while we're doing it. But if you actually see him acting and you start looking into the movie and finding out who this actor is, you start seeing that there's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff they did. And you start gaining more of an appreciation. And I honestly think if he didn't have his hand in it, in more than just acting, I don't think it would be what it is. Because he did bring a lot to the table just for that series.
Let's be honest. Iron Man didn't start the cinematic universe. Let's be honest. RDJ didn't start the cinematic universe. It was the dude who played Phil Coulson. He started the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And he will forever be the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, there are a lot, especially during movies strung along this far along. What's it been? 10 years?
Something like that, yeah.
20 movies. You got to have anchors in there to hold it all together, to tie it all together.
Phil Coulson.
And that man is Phil Coulson.
He's the only anchor. He's the only anchor you need. Forget
this
Samuel
guy's name?
Jackson.
Yeah.
John Favreau.
Favreau, that's it.
John Favreau. That's it. Yeah,
He plays Happy Hogan.
Yeah. John. Wait, really? I don't think that's the same.
It ain't Hulk Hogan. It's Happy Hogan.
Let me see a picture of him.
That's him.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah. John Favreau. Yeah, he's the one. He had a lot of behind the scenes stuff. We were just talking about that. We won't hit on it again. But anyways, I'm gonna keep headphones on. I can't make up my mind. So I got a question. So with the Spider-Mans, obviously, those were Marvel. Do you think if they started this sooner, right after, instead of waiting for Iron Man to come out and seeing what people think, do you think if they just went ahead and invested the time and money into it when Spider-Man was a thing with Tobey Maguire, do you think it would be the same today?
Well, that's different.
It is.
It's not on. See, the only reason Spider-Man is in Homecoming is because Sony owns the rights, and what Marvel had an agreement to have Spider-Man in 3 movies? Is that what it is?
Yeah, they just now got the rights back
for 3
start that.
films. So they wouldn't have been possible anyway, because Sony's its own thing.
That's kind of like the Hulk movies too.
Or X-Men.
That's not what I mean. Like, what I'm saying is, it could be the same with Iron Man. Because think about it, if Iron Man was owned by Sony, it's still tied in with Marvel. They got the rights for at least 3 movies. They used his likeness for 3 movies, and then after that, they continued on with their own thing. They, let's say Marvel, because right after Iron Man, it was Captain America, right? So let's say, for instance, Marvel didn't own Iron Man. Let's say Iron Man was owned by Sony. So let's say they did these 3 Iron Man movies, and then they said, okay, these did well. Let's move on Winter Soldier. So that's what I'm trying to say. So you think since Sony owned, the Spider-Man back then, and Marvel just put their name on it for those 3 movies, do you think after that, seeing how well they did, do you think if they went ahead and started doing, let's say, Iron Man back then, do you think it would? I don't think it would be where it's at today. I think they would have done a lot worse.
I think they would have too. I think that the story of Iron Man has really never been told unless you read the comics, unless you watch
Pretty
the
much.
animated. So I think that was it was a fresh look for people, even though a lot of people that watch those movies, they don't know anything about Iron Man until they watch that movie. So I think
It's like Captain America too.
a fresh
same thing.
look. It's not so far fetched that it could never happen, like a Spider-Man or a Vision, but it's just anchored just enough and has enough turmoil in it to get people's attention that doesn't normally watch that.
Well, it's like that guy that's on YouTube, right? Like you're talking about, it's not so far fetched it couldn't happen. Like that guy on YouTube's, he's making the thrusters for Iron Man suit.
Like
And supposedly he can fly now. He can glide.
not all of it's possible the way it actually happens in the movie, but
Oh,
in
no.
theory, you
could do it.
be Iron Man.
If you have a lot of money. Yeah, a lot of money.
With Marvel, I think there's a lot. Now it's not as true, but excuse me. Starting with Iron Man, there was a lot of patience. Like there was a lot of hurry up and wait type situations. So first Iron Man came out, and then they were like, "When's the second one coming out?" And it was okay. Let's wait. And then the second one came out, and then the third one came out, and now you can't go a single. You can't even go a single season without a new Marvel movie coming out.
And not only that, but they have the movies planned out till 2020
Yeah.
and beyond. They're in talks of making a 5th Avengers movie.
Yeah.
So I mean,
It started out.
Well, this is
just
going to be
being,
what? Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2 will
Part
be the
2, yeah.
4.
Yeah, it
before,
started out
and then
just,
another one.
It started out with Iron Man. It was like one a year, and then after one a year, it was like, okay, these are doing good. Let's do 2 a year, then 3 a year, and now they've got so many coming out. It's just ridiculous.
Well, I
and
mean, why wouldn't
it's
you?
gaining a speed. Yeah.
You got movies like Winter Soldier or Civil War. We'll start with Civil War and Winter Soldier. The Avengers all hitting above the $1 billion mark. So I mean, their movies are all quality. So why would you not just keep cranking those out?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what gets me, though? Like, the biggest complaint I have is if Sony has agreed with Marvel to do Spider-Man, see, the X-Men play a huge part in the upcoming Infinity War.
Fox is not going to let them go.
That's what I'm saying. I don't see why Fox can't, make a little agreement with Marvel to throw the X-Men in there.
Well, you got to think about this too now. Disney owns Marvel now.
Yeah.
Disney is monopolizing everything. Disney's starting their own streaming service. They're taking all their movies off Netflix, Hulu, everything. So now if you want to watch Disney stuff, you have to pay money just to see Disney stuff.
Or buy it.
Yeah, or buy it. You want to do this, you have to pay Disney before you do it. You want to watch a Marvel movie, you're paying Disney. You want to watch a Star Wars movie, you're paying Disney. So now you're going to have these characters, Spider-Man, and with the X-Men and stuff, Fox owning them, they're not going to want to sell out like that. They're wanting to do the same thing Disney's doing, but they can't. So how do they prevent that from happening? They hold their likeness. They say, no, we're not going to sell out to them. We want to do the same as what Disney's doing.
Which Sony does have a partnership with Disney, and that goes back to like Square Enix with Kingdom Hearts, because Square Enix is basically a Sony company.
I mean, there's a huge difference in owning partnership, because Sony, if you watch the end of movies in some Disney stuff or whatever, it says powered by Sony. That's just putting their name on it.
It's true, but I guess you could see why they would
Yeah.
be more lenient to agree with Sony
Right. Yeah.
than Fox. But just think about that though. Just think about, all right, so Infinity War up and coming. It's getting ready to come out this next year?
Yep, 2018.
So if you think about it, then you're gonna have, if they would have done the X-Men, imagine how many characters have been on that screen.
You got 60 characters that are going to be in Marvel Infinity War
So far.
so far.
If they would have added X-Men to it, like in the comics, the X-Men have a pretty big role. I mean, it isn't as big as Spider-Man. Like, basically, to do Infinity War, Marvel had to have Spider-Man because his pivotal role in Infinity War.
And after so many, like after 60, you start feeling sorry for Thanos. He that's a lot to take on. And I think the X-Men would have just it would not,
Overkill.
It would have been overkill. And
I mean, you'd have Wolverine, and he'd have been invincible. You couldn't kill him.
Is Deadpool DC?
No, Deadpool's
he's
Marvel.
Marvel.
He's Marvel. Okay, so
I wish he'd be part of the cinematic universe, but I hope they do a Spider-Man and Deadpool movie.
He's got his own thing going.
Yeah, Ryan. Okay, so I wanted to say this because Ryan Reynolds is really passionate about the Deadpool thing.
Ryan Reynolds is passionate about a lot of things.
That's his thing. That's his baby.
It is.
He is Deadpool. He's like RDJ is Iron Man.
And what I
Chris
was wanting
Evans
to
is
say
Captain
about
America.
Ryan Reynolds is, nobody was taking him seriously before because it was, National Lampoons and stuff like that. These crazy movies he was doing. He did
National Lampoon's Van Wilder was good, all right? It was stupid.
Not National Lampoons. What?
I'm pretty sure it was National
Van
Lampoons.
Wilder.
Is Van Wilder, yeah.
That's what I meant. And he started doing more and more serious roles, started doing these serious acting roles. And out of nowhere, he started getting really passionate. And the footage that came out back in like 2011, it was all CGI, but it was like that teaser thing.
Oh, yeah, no one thought it was going to be legit.
Okay, he was the one that leaked it.
Right.
Yeah, and seeing his passion about it, knowing that he is now tied into the Marvel Universe, even though there's not as much demand for Deadpool, I see Ryan Reynolds as the type. Don't look at me like that. There's a reason why I'm saying this. How many people do you know saying, I can't wait for Deadpool 2?
Almost everybody I've ever talked to.
I haven't heard.
I'll watch it just because the
first one was awesome.
The first one was awesome, but my point is, I hear about people saying, I can't wait for Infinity War. I can't wait for the next Captain America. I can't wait for the next Avengers. I never hear them say, I can't wait for the next Deadpool. That's
you gotta get some better friends. I mean, that's what I'm talking about.
That's not the first thing that comes out of their mouth. That's what I'm saying. And I see Ryan Reynolds in the next few years pushing the crap out of Marvel to say, hey, let's start tying this shit together.
That's why I think at some point they're going to do a Deadpool and Spider-Man like they did in the comics. I think they'll do it.
And at that point, they're going to have to start tying in the X-Men. They have to.
Yeah, I mean, if Ryan Reynolds Cable technically is X-Men because he's the son of Scott and Jean.
Yeah, from the future. Plus, you have, what was it? Was it Tin Man? Is that who it was? Colossus. It's Colossus. What's that girl's name?
Super Mega Teenage Warrior?
Teenage Warhead.
Warhead.
Yeah. Oh, Warhead.
Super Mega Teenage Warhead.
Yeah.
He's like, that name's badass.
Super Mega, what the shit? It's the coolest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, but, Deadpool is kind of
the funniest character of the...
He's meant to be funny. He's brought in when, comic relief is needed. And he does have a serious story, but he's not a serious character.
Oh, his story's pretty fucked up.
The only part that I'm worried about, because I would love to see Deadpool get seriously rolled into the Marvel Universe. With the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I would love to see that tied in. The only problem I see with it is, with the Marvel movies, they're rated PG-13, and...
You would have to rate them R if you put Deadpool
You would have to rate them
R.
R.
There ain't no way you wouldn't have.
Without a shadow of a doubt, do you think that the Avenger movies and the newer Marvel movies coming out, do you think they would hold the same audience and retain, the same attention that it's getting now if it was rated R with Deadpool? Or
for sure.
Yeah.
They would truck right along. And
the problem though is Disney would not make a rated R film. I honestly don't.
They might. I think they actually might start doing that.
You throw enough money at somebody, they'll do about anything you want.
I don't know, but with Disney, basically, Walt Disney created Disney, Mickey Mouse, and all that. It was supposed to be kid friendly, and then now we're starting to get into teenage friendly.
I have a point that may diffuse this idea you have here. You watched the original Star Wars.
Yeah.
Okay, Darth Vader was.
The prequels didn't exist.
Okay, Darth Vader was pretty intimidating at the time, wasn't he? Okay, Disney got the rights, they redid the movies. The scene with Darth Vader ripping people apart, that was kind of haunting to see. That was unlike any Darth Vader we've seen before. Okay, it was kind of seeing the Darth Vader from the original Star Wars, and then seeing Darth Vader in that one particular scene literally just throwing people on the ceiling and shoving lightsabers through them. Actually seeing the scenes play out of them dying instead of just a ridiculous little pew pew laser hitting them in the face and they falling down. Disney made sure to show the darkness of what Darth Vader was.
Well, I mean, I understand that, but then again, there wasn't cussing, there was no blood, because the lightsaber cauterizes instantly.
They didn't.
So
they
you didn't see none
have-
of it.
They don't have to.
But just think about that, though.
If it's dark enough,
I think the cussing is what it is. Like, I think it would be the cursing. Like, you won't see a Disney movie just straight up go, "What the fuck?" You know what I'm saying? And that's what Deadpool would do.
PewDiePie. This is a good, for instance, PewDiePie. You know. who
No, he
PewDiePie
had a
is?
partnership with Disney.
Okay, he's a partnership with Disney.
Was a
a
partner.
partnership with Disney, and he continued to cuss like a sailor.
That's true. But actually, I didn't know he was partnered with Disney until after that whole ordeal with him.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
I knew it the entire time. Just because what was that? What was that big thing? That big game that everybody was playing? Was it Club Penguin? Yeah, Club Penguin that got taken down. He had partnership with that, and he also had partnership with something else. I cannot
I don't
remember,
know.
but it was all Disney, and I think because it would be Marvel, I think it would be okay. Because Disney does own Marvel, correct? And they did the Deadpool movie already, which is rated R.
To an extent. See, Disney owns Marvel Studios, and they own Marvel as a company. But with Sony making the Deadpool movie, it was Sony, right?
Yeah.
No,
Sony
it was Marvel,
making-
wasn't. It was Marvel.
No, Deadpool was Sony. Yeah, so that's why I don't think it'll ever. I mean, I'd love to see Deadpool in the movies. I think it'd be the greatest thing to ever be on a freaking Marvel movie ever. Is have him collab with like some big wigs like Captain America or Iron Man, or I still think the Spider-Man thing would be awesome, even with Tom Holland, because the age difference.
But
Sony was not Deadpool. Deadpool was 20th Century Fox, Marvel Entertainment, TSG Entertainment, the Donner's Company, and Genre Films.
Who owns 20th Century Fox? That's a question we need to find out. I could have sworn I thought it was Sony.
But the thing about Deadpool
Oh,
coming in,
20th Century Fox. Who owns 20th Century? It's Fox. Fox owns 20th Century Fox. But that doesn't make sense because the reason they couldn't have Captain or any X-Men in there is because they didn't have the money to pay Fox for the X-Men.
No. 20. I'm finding all this out on Google in case anybody's watching and they're thinking I'm taking this from a source. 20th Century Fox is the parent organization. 21st Century Fox and Fox Entertainment Group is a part of 20th Century Fox. So 20th Century Fox is its own thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know none of this. I always thought it was Sony for some reason. I
So
don't know why.
Deadpool, to say it is Marvel. That Marvel is the only
And Fox.
and Fox.
It come out by Fox.
It had
Fox
all,
pitched it.
It had all those names to it.
Well, I mean, the Sony movies say Marvel on them. I mean, it's
Okay,
just...
well let's say this for instance. You go to watch a Captain America movie, and you see all these other production company like logos pop up or whatever. You don't notice those. What's the one logo you notice? The
those
Marvel.
comics turning.
Yeah, the comics turning, and then it's
Oh, yeah, that says Marvel.
That's the one thing you notice.
But isn't that different? It says for the Marvel Studios movies, it says Marvel Studios, and then just regular Marvel movies, just Marvel. Right?
I'm pretty sure they all.
Is it on Marvel Studios? I mean, it's been a long
all
time
the
since.
same thing. Marvel and Marvel Studios is, it's Marvel.
Who cares? That's
But yeah,
we're looking
anyways.
too far into it.
Yeah, but like you said, like Deadpool becoming part of, let's just say, Infinity War. They threw him in there. Those characters are established. Like, those characters have been working towards a singular goal for these past 20 movies. And, to throw somebody in there at the end, I mean, continuity wouldn't, that'd be compromised with that. So
I still think people would watch it.
That's one of my biggest.
well, they would watch
fuck
it, but not
yes.
because of Deadpool. I mean, like, hey, there's Deadpool, but I mean, other
I don't
than
know
that,
if they were like Deadpool's entering. I feel like there's a lot of people that'd be like, dude, I wasn't a huge fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but I love Deadpool. Boom.
you would
I
have to go
honestly-
somewhere weird.
I would
No, I mean, I
honestly,
understand it,
I
but-
honestly think that it would bring. I think the same demographic and the same audience that Marvel has now with the Avengers and Iron Man and Captain America and all that. I think the same audience would stay there and bring in more audience with Deadpool coming into it. I know we're talking a lot about Deadpool and we'll move on here in a second, but I think it's interesting to talk about because he is so different from the rest of what's going on. But if you added him in there, the rating of the movie would be different. And some there are kids that are, love, the Avenger movies and I can actually watch them. Even though they're PG-13, their parents say, okay, it's superheroes, why not? With Deadpool, I think it's different because whenever I went to see Deadpool, there were more children in there than there were adults. That was the scary part about it because here it is, a rated R movie. It was pretty grotesque, but there was more children in the audience than there were adults. And I think everybody in the audience, everybody that, I was in there watching it with, that I wasn't with, but what I'm saying is there was kids in there and stuff. I seen the same enjoyment, no matter if it was an adult or kid, which is kind of weird seeing a, kid able to enjoy something that was so ridiculous. But I think it would just inflate it even more because you do have those people that are diehard fans just for Deadpool. There are those people that say, I don't care about the Avengers. I don't care about the Iron Man. But Deadpool came out and they were like, hell yeah. This is more my attitude, Deadpool. And that would bring in that audience to the rest of the Marvel Universe. Maybe. I don't know.
Would it work? That would be remains to be seen. I mean, Marvel would make it work, but would it be as good as you would hope? Remains to be seen.
I think a Deadpool character just takes away from,
I mean, those are like serious roles. And
I like Deadpool. I love the movie, but I think he would take away from the task at hand. If you threw him in there, because Deadpool, he's kind of, he doesn't really care about much except his own vendettas. So I mean,
yeah, Francis.
Yeah, he would help. But
who did Tony Stark and Banner create? What was the
Vision?
Vision, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think Vision took away, kind of.
Vision's not going to last much longer. This is my belief that he has the Mind Stone and Thanos needs that. So I mean, he's not going to last long. I give him half of Infinity War 1 to survive because I mean he's just not gonna.
Well, that and I have a feeling that Captain America's not gonna make it.
Okay, the thing about the Infinity War movies is that there's going to be a lot of changes in that cast wise. A lot of the actors now they're contracted into Infinity War 2. A lot of them are not going to make it past there. And I think that's where the fifth movie is going to come in, where you have
the new
Avengers. Like, you got Falcon,
Scarlet Witch.
I don't know.
The Winter Soldier.
Will
end up taking up the Captain America mantle.
Captain Marvel.
Yeah, she getting introduced to Infinity War?
Nope, not one. Probably two.
Black Panther.
He's going to be in there too.
Okay, so let's touch on this real quick. And once we get done talking about this, I think we'll probably end the episode. Paul Rudd, Ant-Man.
He'll make it.
You think?
He's going to be part of the new Avengers.
I'm happy to see him.
He's going to squeeze through there.
I like how he may be roughed up a bit. May see something he don't want to see. But
he's going to be Ant-Man and the Wasp. He's got his own thing coming out too. So.
But yeah, I actually kind of like how they added like a comedian-esque character, like as a serious. I mean, Mark Ruffalo is sort of a comedian.
Yeah.
But Paul Rudd, like
I remember watching Paul Rudd and
I Love You Man.
I Love You Man. God, that movie was great. He's always been a comedic character. He's always been in comedies, especially with Anchorman. And next thing you know, here he is in Ant-Man looking buff as shit. Like, you never see
Chris Pratt.
Like if you've seen Paul Rudd in a movie with the shirt off, it was like a dad bod. And then Ant-Man
Chris
came
Pratt.
out. Yeah. 4 months before Marvel. Oh, god damn. But then literally no one anticipated it. It was like Paul Rudd's going to be Ant-Man. They're like, how's that going to work? And then there he is shirtless with a fighting scene. Like, he actually conditioned and pushed himself to make this role work.
Well, there's a lot of people that are like Chris Evans.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a bigger guy, but he really bulked up for Captain America.
Like in his early, like you watch him in Fantastic Four, first one that came out. He wasn't big. He might have been a little cut, but he wasn't big.
But I'm saying he was.
Wasn't he?
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that.
He's Torch, Human Torch.
Yeah.
Johnny Storm.
What is it? What is the other movie? It's stupid. What is it? Not Another Teen Movie? Chris Evans is in it?
Yeah.
He's always been little, but, he his workout's ridiculous for Captain America. But,
Yeah, like a lot of people do that stuff seriously. I think the only one that didn't really work out too much is Robert Downey Jr. because he's got that suit. No matter.
I feel like they're they're going to pass the mantle on to the new Avengers, which is going to make room for their own singular movies. You got Captain Marvel coming out. Black Panther. They're all going to have their thing.
I'm looking forward to Black Panther.
Yeah. Black Panther is one of those ones that you never think about, but it's going to be pivotal to see that movie play out.
I think the two movies that have really... I'm going to leave Deadpool out of it because we talked about it so much. I'm going to leave Deadpool out of it, but I think the two movies... one's already came out and Black Panther's coming out, but I think there are two movies that are very important to diversify and really expand the idea of Marvel itself and tie in everything, is Black Panther and Wonder Woman.
Yeah, nobody
But
thinks
Wonder
about...
Woman's not Marvel.
Oh yeah, it's not. Black Panther, excuse me.
Well, honestly...
It's fresh on my mind. Ashley went to see it. She said it was phenomenal. Sorry. Black Panther.
I mean, that's a very pivotal role. I personally do not think that we had to have the Spider-Man movie before Infinity War. I think once they introduced Spider-Man, they could have just had Spider-Man and Infinity War and been done.
Yeah.
They could have basically had the whole Homecoming movie in like 10 minutes in Infinity War.
I
I haven't seen it, and I heard it's awesome.
I think the reason Spider-Man is such a, powerful force in itself is because Spider-Man is one of those characters. It's kind of like Iron Man. People love Iron Man because he's just a guy with a suit. If he didn't have the suit, he wouldn't be anything. And there are complications with the suit that cause him to have troubles with what he's facing. And that's more of a realistic push towards real life. And with Spider-Man, he's nothing without his mechanisms. He's nothing.
Well, he's got his strength in his spider suits, but other than that, like, he can't shoot webs without his...
That's the thing, though, with Peter Parker himself, if he didn't have his suit on him, would he jump at the situation to show everybody that he has these powers and reveal who he is?
Well, that goes back to his Uncle Ben and everything, and people that he loves. You got to look at it like he's still a kid. He's a teenager.
And if he can't
he's
beat
afraid
somebody...
from a degree. He likes being a superhero, but he still worries about his family and all that good stuff.
See, the big thing that I was really upset to see was in Civil War, Spider-Man's role was not completed.
Scott's a Spider-Man fan.
But in Civil War, like in the comic Civil War, Spider-Man has the biggest pivotal role, and that's the reason they had to have him for that movie. But yet they didn't do it in the movie.
He came along too late, man. There's so much that happened between Iron Man 1 and Homecoming. He just came along too late to have
his
many
role.
pivotal role. Yeah, I mean he's going to be there, but he's going to be more for support than anything else. The Guardians of the Galaxy, you got the Guardians, you got the Avengers, and Incredible Hulk and all that, and all Ragnarok. It's just a lot to take in.
I think we'll do this and then we'll go ahead and end the episode. But I think the one thing that really diminished the idea of Spider-Man coming into the Avengers was Ant-Man coming out at the exact same time and throwing Ant-Man into the Avengers at the exact same time. I think that really added competition.
No, the only thing, I mean, it doesn't matter to me if Spider-Man's a supporting character. I don't really care. But like in the comic book story of Civil War, in the story, Spider-Man has probably one of the biggest roles in it, and that was the only thing that I was kind of let down, that you didn't get to see it in the cinematic form.
Right.
Because it come into, I mean, not even just Marvel Cinematic Universe, but just Civil War, the movie itself, he was in there too late to show it.
Okay, so, summary, Marvel. Sticking their dick in a big bucket of money and doing it correctly.
Yeah, you're going to have things that they don't agree on, that don't follow the comics correctly, but
well,
I mean they're doing it right for the most part. I mean, there's not a person that complain. That's what's happened between Iron Man and the Avengers movie. So
okay, so I'll ask this and then we'll end the episode. I've said that 4 or 5 times now. Do you think after these movies that are planned up until 2020, do you think after that it's downhill?
I feel like we're invested up until Infinity War 2. After that, we'll kind of see where it goes. But for the most part, we spent so long watching these movies and how they unfolded. It's kind of hard to start something new. But we'll see where it goes.
Just think about this for a second. So, it's a game aspect, but it makes sense for what you just asked. So, Kingdom Hearts, right? 3 is the last story that you're going to play as Sora. And they're going to keep going out with Kingdom Hearts games. Square Enix has already announced that, but it's not going to be Sora. Can you play those? That's basically it's basically the same thing.
I think another good point is with Batman. I know it's DC, but it's still a superhero movie that we haven't seen. We hadn't seen a good Batman movie since Tim Burton done the Batmans with
Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson
and stuff like
was
that.
it?
And then the next thing you know, The Dark Knight came out. That was the Tim Burton movies was 90s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We didn't, Batman kind of died out. Batman was still a thing, but it kind of died out. And all of a sudden, The Dark Knight started coming out, and every Hot Topic, every store, everything you possibly imagine, Batman shit everywhere.
It's like that happened with Man of Steel before it came out, and then Man of Steel was like, people liked it. I mean, it wasn't bad.
Yeah, but that's the thing. The newer generation was like, what is this Batman thing? Because they, and then they started, investing in the comics. They were like, what? There's comics? And they started buying the comics, stuff that people stopped buying long ago, but they started doing it again. Then they started, and I think it'll be the same way with Marvel, like you said. People are invested in it. So even after 2020, if they don't have anything planned, people are still invested in it. And who knows, maybe they got it planned past 2020, and 2030 they got it planned to come out with like this big smorgasbord pile of
They're
Marvel.
going to figure out how to get Galactus in
Yeah,
it.
and eventually they might, it might just have the whole cast of Marvel in there,
Fighting Galactus. Isn't it like supposedly the biggest fight that they have or something like that?
Well, I mean,
Galactus? The World Eater?
You can get into that all day, but I mean, Galactus and Thanos have traded punches, so I mean, what they're up against now, I mean, it's no,
pretty hardcore.
It's no small thing. So,
all right, well, it's been great having you on this show, Cody, and we're gonna have more episodes come out pretty soon. And I know this has been kind of a very chill, relaxed episode. It's not been as upbeat and crazy.
Humorous.
Humorous is, but this is pretty serious stuff we're talking about for this episode. And the next couple episodes will be a little more fun, a little more upbeat, because it's funny stuff. Awkward silence. Let it hang. No, let it hang.
We thought you would just let you handle that.
Don't laugh. Let it hang. Is it awkward for you yet?
It's been awkward.
Get really close to the mic. Get really close to the mic, Scott.
It's been awkward.
No, closer. Put your mouth on it.
No.
Put your mouth on it, Scott.
I'm still sick, okay?
Oh, yeah. Don't do that. I'll have to wipe it off every time. All right. Well, anyways, it's been a terrific episode, Cody. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
Yep. It's good being here.
We really hope that everybody listening enjoyed it. This was a longer episode. I think this is our longest episode we've ever done.
Yeah, our first one was the longest up until this one. I think it was like 33, 35.
Yeah, something like that. But anyways, we're going to end the episode here.
We will see you in the next episode. See ya. I got it again.
You did get it again. Are you still proud of yourself?
Always.
Hey, if you enjoyed this episode, leave a like, and we'll see you in the next episode. See ya!